The United States Constitution is a living document, meaning that it continues to be changed ever since it was drafted in 1787, with 27 amendments as of 2025. Let's talk about them and put them on our attention-keeping tier list along the way. The first 10 amendments were part of the Bill of Rights, all of which were added to the Constitution by 1791 in an attempt to appease Democratic Republicans, such as Thomas Jefferson, who were worried that the government was too powerful under the Constitution. The First Amendment protects citizens' freedom of speech, religion, expression, the press, peaceful protest, and the right to petition the government. This covers a lot of ground and forms the basis for most freedoms in the U.S., putting it at S tier. The Second Amendment protects citizens' right to bear arms, which meant muskets when it was drafted, and something very different today. While the Founding Fathers couldn't have foreseen this, which is the whole point of the amendment system, the Second Amendment goes into the D tier. The Third Amendment says that soldiers can't be quartered without the consent of the owner, which isn't really an issue today as it was during the Revolution, so C tier for being pretty useless. The Fourth Amendment, on the other hand, is still very relevant and protects citizens from unwarranted search and seizure by the police or the government. A tier. The Fifth Amendment, namesake of pleading the Fifth, is that a defendant can't be forced to provide evidence that would hurt their case, also known as remaining silent. A tier, but lower than the Fourth. The Sixth Amendment is the basis of the American justice system and provides that all accused have the right to a fast and public trial with an impartial jury under the law of the place where the crime was committed. S tier on paper, certainly, but unfortunately not quite above corruption in practice. The Seventh Amendment protects the right for citizens to have a jury trial in federal courts with civil cases where the claim exceeds a certain dollar value. It also prohibits judges in these trials from overruling facts revealed by the jury. B tier. The Eighth Amendment protects from excessive bail or fines, as well as cruel and unusual punishment. High B tier. The Ninth Amendment covers a lot of ground, and basically says that even if the Constitution doesn't specifically mention a right for the people, the government can't take away that right. A tier for filling in the gaps. The 10th and final amendment of the Bill of Rights is similar to the 9th, but instead applying to states and not people. Also A tier. The 11th Amendment, ratified in 1795, says that a state can't be tried by someone from another state or country by a U.S. court. C tier. The 12th Amendment, ratified in 1804, changed the electoral college system by making presidents and vice presidents run together, as well as not allowing them to run from the same state. The electoral college is undoubtedly a foolish way to pick the president, however this amendment is B tier. The 13th Amendment marked a monumental shift in the United States, ratified in 1865 and finally ending generations of slavery for millions of people. S tier without a doubt. The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, provides for equal protection under the law for all Americans, which unfortunately excluded Native Americans and women at the time, but is currently S tier. The 15th Amendment, ratified in 1870, kept the hot streak going by allowing African American men to vote for the first time. S tier. The 16th Amendment, however, ratified in 1913, levied an income tax on the American people. Yuck. As fun as it is to rag on taxes, though, they form the basis of the government's wealth, giving this amendment a B tier. The 17th Amendment, also ratified in 1913, made it so that senators were elected directly by the people, instead of by state legislatures. This could be seen as betraying the Founding Fathers' idea of what the Senate should be, or as an expansion of the people's rights and dampener of corruption. B tier. The 18th Amendment, ratified in 1920, made alcohol illegal, beginning the period known as Prohibition. This only served to increase disregard for the law and the power of gangs, so F tier. The 19th Amendment, on the other hand, finally gave women the right to vote. It was also ratified in 1920, 144 years after the Declaration of Independence. Jeez. S tier. The 20th Amendment, ratified in 1933, changed Inauguration Day from March 4th to January 20th, shortening the lame duck period that gives the amendment its nickname. B tier. The 21st Amendment nullified the 18th, and it was ratified in 1933. At least it got rid of an F tier, so D tier. The 22nd Amendment, ratified in 1951, added a term limit of 2 for the president and 10 years maximum if they're a rising vice president. A tier. Thanks, Franklin D. Roosevelt. The 23rd Amendment, ratified in 1961, made Washington, D.C. a part of presidential elections with 3 electoral votes. B tier. The 24th Amendment abolished poll taxes, which were a discriminatory means of stopping poorer people, especially African Americans, from voting. It was ratified in 1964 and gets an A tier. The 25th Amendment set the order of presidential succession, with 18 backups today, going through the heads of Congress and the executive branch. Before it was ratified in 1967, 8 presidents had died in office, and only a precedent, set by John Tyler in 1841, had made the vice president next in line. Good thing one of them never died. A tier. The 26th Amendment, ratified in 1971, lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. Nice, but pretty middle of the pack. B tier. The 27th and most recent amendment was ratified in 1992 and forbids members of Congress from raising their own pay until after the next election, which seems like a no-brainer. A tier. Those are all of the amendments in the U.S. Constitution right now. What a long way we've come, and what a long way we've yet to go.